Straight ahead on CCX News, changes coming to an Osseo apartment complex. They're changes that some residents say will force them to move. Plus, a focus on jobs. The mayor of Plymouth announces some significant company expansions. And we'll meet a Brooklyn Park man who is making a name for himself in the world of kickboxing. CCX News starts right now. Hello and thanks for joining us. Change is coming to an Osseo apartment complex that some residents aren't too happy about.
The residents say those changes will force them to move, and Eric Nelson joins us now with more. Eric?
Yeah, Alex and Mike, residents of the 6th Avenue apartments in Osseo say future renovations are disruptive and will result in them having to find new homes. A new office building will be built on the old pool site pending City Council approval, and the apartments will be renovated. The news, however, is a dagger for some tenants who claim they have been kicked to the curb with just 2 months' notice and now have no place to go.
They don't answer the phone for days on end at times. And I just don't understand how he can kick 92 apartments or whatever it is out on the street in one fell swoop and think it's proper.
Angry residents voiced their concerns to the Planning Commission at Monday night's meeting. They are unhappy that the pool was recently demolished and complained about the laundry room, trash collection service, and cleanliness of the units. The commission, however, says that the building owner has gone through proper legal channels and that this is a zoning issue, not about how a company runs its business.
My heart hurts for you, for each one of you. I wish there was some power we had to discuss morals with people like this.
As of right now, I do not have a home. I am trying. Okay, but 3 times the rent is what is required now out there. We were not given an option to vacate for 30 or 60 days and come back to our same apartment.
We reached out to property owner Jason Quilling today, but he did not return our phone call. Also of note, this apartment building used to be called Countryside Estates, where 2 years ago there was a significant fire that displaced 7 families. Mike?
All right, thank you. Well, for the third straight year, Plymouth has taken its State of the City address on the road. This year, Plymouth Mayor Kelly Slavic gave the address at the Atria Corporate Center, home to 21 companies, including Medtronic, the Mosaic Company, and Travel Leaders Group. The 5-story building at I-494 and Highway 55 recently underwent a $1.3 million renovation. And business growth was a common theme at this year's address. Some highlights include Banner Engineering, expected to hire as many as 250 additional engineers. Another, Wagner Spray Tech, plans to add more than 60 new jobs. And Energy Management Collaborative, a lighting controls company, expects to double its workforce to 270 employees over the next 3 years. One more highlight, 2 new hotels will be constructed, including WATERWALK, a corporate lodging-style hotel where the average stay is 70 nights. It would be the first of its kind in the state.
And also in Plymouth, the city takes a closer look at the Wayzta district's plans for a new elementary school. It would be located on County Road 101 along the Medina border. The new school would serve more than 800 students from pre-kindergarten through 5th grade. The look of the new building will be similar to Meadow Ridge Elementary. That's the school that opened in 2016.
Local nonprofit has opened its doors at a new location. PRISM is now located on ZANE Avenue in Golden Valley. Staff members say their new space better fits the increased number of people that they serve.
We've seen increased growth in the number of folks coming in for services for food, for housing, and our thrift shop continues to receive more donations. So our old space we grew out of. This new space is more dignified. It better reflects the quality of our services.
The thrift store has a big presence at the new location. PRISM embarked on a 2-year campaign to raise $350,000 for the move and is 80% of the way there. The nonprofit will share this building with the Jewish Family and Children's Services. The building has the same square footage as the last location, but PRISM says it has a more user-friendly layout and offers better experience for clients, including the food shelf.
We want people to be able to choose their own food. We want them to be able to feel good, and this space allows us to do that in even better ways.
PRISM is also having a campaign this month to fill the new food shelf and is encouraging donations. A Brooklyn Park man is on the quest to win his first professional kickboxing belt.
Reporter Sonia Goins shows us how Troy Jones is making major moves inside and outside the ring.
I like the competitiveness and the contact.
Troy Trouble Jones Jr. practically lives at the Minnesota Martial Arts Academy in Brooklyn Center.
Train twice a day, 3 times a day.
He's already won more than 10 amateur titles, including the International Federation of Muay Thai World Cup in 2015.
I envisioned myself being on that stage since the first day I stepped in this gym.
The Park Center graduate turned professional in January.
Punching left, right, left, in and out, moving. It's like a rhythm.
Switching from Muay Thai to kickboxing.
In kickboxing, you can't use elbows. In Muay Thai, you can use elbows. So that's pretty much the main difference.
Troy Jones says while both sports are similar, Muay Thai helped to shape his soul.
Buddhism is entrenched into Muay Thai, and it kind of like allowed me to become a better person, be more mellow, and like care about certain things. I don't care about like materialistic type of things anymore.
Now Troy has his eyes on the World Boxing Counseling belt.
In boxing, that's one of the most prestigious belts, and I want to have that around my waist.
Troy is also taking his fight skills outside the ring, helping young people to build self-esteem and protect themselves against bullying.
Yeah, I teach Muay Thai to an after-school program in East St. Paul. I just enforced them to stand up for themselves if there's no other option. Like, don't allow someone to dictate how you feel about yourself or anyone around you.
Troy says with determination and heart, anyone can be a champion.
You don't have to be stuck in a situation that you were born into. Like, you can work hard enough and to sacrifice enough, and you can reach any level you want to reach.
In Brooklyn Center, Sonia Goins, CCX News.
Troy Trouble Jones makes his kickboxing debut in Los Angeles on March 31st at 8 p.m. You can catch all the action on UFC Fight Pass. Still ahead, a Plymouth elementary school that has found a niche in filmmaking.
Plus, we'll hear from 4 local qualifiers for the state boys basketball tournament.
But first, a slight warm-up on Wednesday, highs in the 40s. We'll be right back. In today's school spotlight, Kimberly Lane Elementary in Plymouth came up with a new idea this year that showcases the students' talents.
As Delane Cleveland reports, it teaches them valuable lessons about behavior.
Every day, roughly 760 students make their way to Kimberly Lane Elementary in Plymouth.
What is he like? What makes him happy where he is?
It's a place where students learn the fundamentals of education.
So what do you have right now?
That will benefit them for years to come.
It's all about meeting kids where they are and making sure it's developmentally appropriate.
KARI WEHRMANN has been Kimberly Lane's principal for the last 5 years. And during that time span, she's overseen an influx of new students as the district underwent a boundary change.
2 years ago, we ended up having this really great, almost United Nations type of a feel, where we had about 150 kids come from Greenwood, 90 from Plymouth Creek, 90 from Oakwood, and then we got another bunch of students because there's so much building that's taking place in our school boundary.
Which means that over the past 2 years, Kimberly Lane has essentially transformed into a new school.
And we're just so lucky because we have great families, we've got great kids.
And we'll attach our QR codes to the poster.
But like many schools, some kids aren't always able to showcase their strengths in a classroom setting.
We were just trying to think of what are some different ways to highlight different students' strengths, because we have students do sports or they do music and they do it, and trying to figure out what are these other pieces.
What they came up with is introducing the students to the world of video production.
Oh, we're here.
4th and 5th grade students had to create short films that highlighted attributes consistent with the school's mantra of positive behaviors, known here as the Coyote Code.
So we decided to create a film festival where the kids came in, once a week and for about a month, and they were able to create films that related to the code.
Quinn Hobbs is one of the teachers behind the video project. He worked with art teacher Katie HAMMERO to get the students to make 60 to 90-second films.
They really poured their hearts into their projects, and they just did an amazing job just working together as teams.
Get your code cards, only $99.99.
Most of the films took the form of a commercial or documentary.
Consideration is priceless.
And in the process, the students had to get a crash course in how to shoot and edit video, while also learning about how to showcase good behavior.
It was just really an interesting experience to see what they came up with. They're really creative.
To celebrate their achievements in filmmaking, the school held a film festival and awards ceremony known as the Codies, where everyone got dressed up and the students received Oscar-like awards.
It was really awesome at the Cody's night. They actually spoke about their films before the films were shown, and most of the responses were, I didn't believe how hard this was going to be.
Like many things in life, the students learned that it requires teamwork to succeed. In Plymouth, Delaney Cleveland, CCX News.
It's fun. This was the first year of the Kimberly Lane Film Festival, and the hope is to bring it back again next year. Still ahead, a first-of-its-kind service project for Maple Grove Elementary School.
But first, the Brooklyn Center boys basketball team prepares for its first trip to the state tournament in 35 years. John Jacobson is next with sports.
I'm John Jacobson with sports. 5 boys basketball teams from the area will play in the state tournament this week as the winter season wraps up. That includes Class 2A entrant Brooklyn Center. The Centaurs prepared at practice Monday for their first trip to state in boys basketball since 1983. It's the 3rd time in the tournament overall for Brooklyn Center. The Centaurs advanced with a great performance and beat top seed and perennial power Minneapolis North in the Section 5 AA final. That's after losing to the Polars by 22 points during the season. The outcome was a surprise to many, but not the BC guys.
I knew we were going to be North, but I knew everybody had a little doubt in us because, North had beat us in the regular season. And I thought that if we got them on the even playing scale and not played at North, we got them. So.
And I've got that a lot. A lot of people from the community and everything have been asking us, what it's like to upset North. And we didn't consider it an upset. We came in confident. If you look at the QRF, we were the number 3 team in the state. They were number 2. We were number 5 in a lot of the popular polls. So, it's not like this is some Cinderella story. We have a pretty good team, a good game plan, and the kids executed.
Brooklyn Center is 21-8 and the number 2 seed for the state tournament. They play Breckenridge in the Class 2A quarterfinals Wednesday at 6 p.m. at Williams Arena. For the 2nd year in a row, the Wayzta boys basketball team pulled off a huge win over Hopkins to win the Section 6 4A championship. We caught up with the Trojans as they get ready for the state tournament, and Jason Malillo has this report.
The Wayzta boys basketball team is young and had to find its way this season, but everything came together in the section final as the Trojans knocked off perennial power Hopkins.
I think our guys they kept battling, kept believing, and we've been up and down. It's been a little bit of a roller coaster. But you're going to have that with the kind of group we have this year, and they're playing their best at the right time.
Wayzta will face number 1 seed Cretin-Durham Hall in the first game of the state tournament. But seedings and who's better on paper doesn't mean a whole lot to the Trojans.
A lot of teams, I know during the regular season, kind of slept on us, and maybe the early time will help, but I don't know. I feel like if any team sleeps on us, they're going to be unpleasantly surprised.
Bottom line is it's a game of basketball. It doesn't really matter where it's played. You got to play well and do well in that moment in order to come out on top.
Jason Malillo, CCX Sports.
Wayzta and Cretin tip off at 10 a.m. on Wednesday at Target Center. Another team back to state in Class 4A is Maple Grove. The Crimson is headed to the tournament for a 3rd straight year. Maple Grove practice Monday as they look ahead to their state tournament opener on Wednesday afternoon. The Crimson is 21-8 on the season and coming off of a 66-52 win over Buffalo in the Section 8 final. Maple Grove is one of the unseeded teams in the 4A field and meets 3rd-seeded Lakeville North in the quarterfinals. We talked to the Crimson about preparing for state and on the challenges of playing Lakeville North.
They're solid. That's the word that I think of when I think of them. All their players are really good. Nobody really jumps off the stat sheet as far as scoring. Very much like us, it's very hard to dial in on just one guy, and we got to control one guy. It's going to take a team effort.
Everyone's thrilled to be in state again, and now we're just back to business as usual, treating it just like any other game. I mean, obviously it states it's a lot bigger, but we're treating it the same, just preparing like we normally would, not breaking our normal routine before a game.
Maple Grove and Lakeville North tip off at 4 o'clock Wednesday at Target Center in the final quarterfinal round game in Class 4A. Maple Grove's district rival Osseo is back in the state tournament for a 10th time. The Orioles have battled through injuries this season to battle their way into the state tournament. Osseo edged another District 279 team, Park Center, 61-57 to capture the Section 5 4A championship Friday night in Rogers. That's after surviving a tense 2-overtime battle against Champlin Park in the semifinals earlier last week. Osseo doesn't have a lot of size, and this may not be as talented of a team as some of the past state squads, but it is a group with a lot of heart, and they are ready.
It brought a lot of heart out of us. A lot of teammates and players came together. We came together as a team even more because of the adversity we faced with injuries and stuff throughout our season. So it brought us together more, and it was a tough task.
I think this group is one of the most resilient groups of kids that I've seen. Nothing rattles them. Their poise is second to none.
The Orioles carry a 23-6 record into the 4A tournament. They are the 5th seed and will face 4th-seeded Eden Prairie in the quarterfinals Wednesday at noon at Target Center. We'll have a story Wednesday on CCX News on the Heritage Christian Academy boys basketball team and their first trip to state. Back to you.
All right, thanks a lot, John. Up next, a day to focus on others.
What students at a Maple Grove Elementary School did to give back.
And finally, a Maple Grove Elementary School that's all tied up in making blankets.
Students at Cedar Island Elementary assembled more than 100 fleece tie blankets that will be distributed to the Animal Humane Society and Second Hand Hounds Animal Rescue. What made this project different is older students worked with the younger ones on it. And school officials say it's also the first all-school service project Cedar Island has done in recent memory.
It's important to let our kids know that the world is bigger than them, that there are other people and other creatures that need help. And so we devised this service project in direct response to what our kids said was important to them.
And the hope is to make service projects like this one an annual event at Cedar Island. Good going, guys. That's it for now. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
We will see you back here again on Wednesday, starting at 4 o'clock.